Alright guys, what's going on? This is your boy Lago One Half and Duo. And I want to have a quick discussion about one of my favorite franchise. Not one of, it is my favorite franchise. My favorite franchise in gaming is, of course, Metroid. I have fell in love with this game from since 1992. Alright? To be honest with people, I didn't have any what you would call it. So I wasn't an OG as in the real old, like just to be one of those OG back to the back in those days. But again, I am just a bona fide I don't know what else to say. It's just that game has been one of my best games that I have played. I have basically 100% every game except for one, Federation Force, because I need multiplayer to do it, and I'm not a multiplayer kind of person. I'm more a single player kind of person. So that didn't work out for me in that regard. But I mean, I did everything I can in a single as I can in Federation Force. Force. You go to my channel, of course, you'll see a playlist of Metroid. I have, of course, my collection of Metroid over the years. Like, I am such a crazy Metroid fan, as you can see. Like, and these are, I still have these, I have articles of this game. Now, I just released a video just a while ago talking about my dysfunction, and I have in that same list you're gonna see my dysfunction with a lot of the so quote unquote, you can't do it but air quotes, Metroid fans, those who mess up the franchise, those who talk a lot of stuff. And I'll do some discussion videos about that. I got two discussion videos I saw that I want to do. I talk about the sales of Metroid and why it sells what it is. Because remember, I did a podcast a long time ago. People wanted to know if Metroid was one of those sellers, the top 10 sellers in Nintendo's franchises. It is not. The best selling Metroid game was Prime, and that was close to 3 million. So it's not not the thing to point out as like, yeah, this is the best thing ever. But this game is a kind of a game that just pulls you in if you like this type of game. Again, it's an action adventure, side-scrolling adventure game. Has its puzzles. It has its highs where the puzzles are crazy. It has its lows where the puzzles are not. It has a high where the difficulty hits you hard, like the game you see right there, Metroid Prime Echoes. It hits you like wham, and then some that's just like, okay, it's kind of easy mode and whatever. But like I said, my bona fides are strictly Metroid. Now, for the people who want, like I said, there are a lot of new fans. After that sexy, and I do mean sexy, Metroid Dread commercial that Nintendo dropped in the gameplay, yes, we all trying to get it. It was hype. It was the number one pre-order game for E3 of 2021. Everybody's hyped for it. I'm hoping that people put their money where their mouth is, though. That's the problem. Put the money where the mouth is. You know? So, with that, I have, now there are a lot of people right now going to the Wii U eShop. And all the Metroid games on there from, have been selling, has gone to the top of the charts. And again, I said Fusion makes sense because it's chronologically the game that makes sense to go back to whatever. But there are gonna be a lot of Metroid new fans out there, okay? And you guys, hey, I got your back. As a very unique Metroid fan in the world, and I do mean very unique Metroid fan in the world, because I don't. Like I said, I have signed copies from Kenji Yamamoto. I've used a Metroid Prime song and turned it into a multi-million seller song that boosted my label, which is for everybody know, I own my own music label company, and so had superstars on it, and it made some good money for me. Got platinum plaque off of it, so I can't argue that part. I have got, like I said, as you see on the screen, I have that, and there's a video of that, of course, showing my collection. I have broken down. I have got all Metroid games and played every one of them, even down to the demo, even to the pinball, and all that stuff. Now, the sucky part about it is, I wish back in the day when I know about this stuff, I would have kept the boxes. As you can see Fusion there to the side, and you can see Zero Mission and all the Hunter Prime. I wish I kept the boxes, but at the time I wasn't thinking like that. Same thing with Super Metroid. Same thing with these right here. Like from Fusion back, I don't have the boxes. And if I had known, I have the books, which is funny. I have the books, but if I had known I was gonna keep them, I should have kept the boxes just for my sake. I would have done that just in case. From now on, of course, I keep the boxes, of course. But anyway, enough prattling, enough waffling. You guys just got into Metroid. You saw that sexy commercial, that sexy trailer. Everybody's talking about it on E3. Most pre-order game, and you were like, "Hey, what's this game about? It's the hype." Now, I'll say this before. I have a video about hype. Don't get into the hype and all that stuff. Am I excited for Metroid Prime, Metroid Dread, and Prime 4? To be honest, I'm more excited for Metroid Dread than Prime 4. I think Prime should have done what it is. You should have stayed what it is. But because the Prime series are the best sellers out of the series of the game, and people just hopped on in a certain way, I say whatever. I don't like it, but let's go into this. So you want to go back and play you want to see what the hype is all about. You want to play these old games. You heard about there's like 17 games out there. What games should I go and get, and how should I experience what the best experience is? Now, I'll say this to you. As you can see right there, I have my Fusion and Metro, or just showing the collection up there. So, I'm going to go through the chronological of the game. If you want to keep up with the stories, and I'll share that, I'll tell you what to skip and what not to skip. Because you don't need... The thing about Prime, is the story... Not Prime, sorry, Metroid. Is the story good? In my opinion, yes. It is. Most of the story is later on, of course. But in the older games, I like how they told the story through the gameplay. That's something... That's an art form that's missing. And again, yes, that's the infamous Metroid other Emma people hear about. No. That's what I would tell you. Do not skip it. Play it. If you want to get the story and everything, play that. I'll tell you why in a moment. So let's jump to that. So of course, back in 1986, this is the game I did not pick, but I did play it and beat. This is Metroid. The start of everything. The protagonist, of course, is Samus Aran, which, of course, you find out is a female. 1, 2. It was the first game on the NES in the way to go left instead of just right, and hidden blocks and all kind of features they put in this game. That it was Gunpei Yokoi and Sakamoto. You guys did a great game. Rest in peace, Gunpei Yokoi. But a great game. Telling you, just awesome. Just I can't help it. Those and the team of Metroid, you guys did a great job. Okay, don't let nobody take away that for you. You created legacy. Gunpei Yokoi. So, with that said, this is the first game and always done. Now, to be honest, if you are cool retro head, if you're a person who's getting new into this, and you are a retro head, then you could go ahead and experience this game the way it is. Now, the problem with a lot of these old games, Metroid has a thing is they don't give no direction. You are the discovery. You go and find and look for everything. You go find and look for everything. Music's good. Everything is different. If you're, like I said, if you're a retro head, go ahead. If you're not a retro head, I would say skip this. Do not play this because it's very arcade and you might not catch up with this. Alright? So letting you know that. Now this is the Metroid I started with. In 1992, my friend Raphael gave me Metroid Return of Samus 2 for my Game Boy. And holy smokes, I got hooked in the game. Now, it's an atmospheric type of game. The original game is an atmospheric kind of game. There's, you know, the bleeps, bloops. It makes you feel like you're in this an SR-38, which is the planet of the home of the Metroids. Which, again, the story is, and I'm gonna spoil some stuff in here so let you know that. You know what? But SR-38 was basically one of the nomad planets for the Chozos, which is a part of the plot. Chozos are who gave Samus her suit and trained her to be a bounty hunter to basically stop the Metroid. Because in other words, by taking one thing I liked about the story is that it shows kind of like a natural occurrence in the real world. Like if you take away a predator from a spot, the world does not work without a vacuum. That's the whole point. Think of it like the war that we just happened with Iraq and Iran and all stuff like. You take away a superpower away, somebody's gonna come over and take over, and the same thing they did. There was Parasite X, and Parasite X was a very predominant thing that was causing problems with the Chozos. They created the Metroids, majority of it, just to stop Parasite X. And they did. And with that, they have the ability, the Metroids have the ability to harness energy and power. But when you create a weapon, or even if it wasn't created as a weapon, but if you create a weapon, other people seeks it. They do. So, in this one, like I said, Metroid Prime Return of Samus, this is a very atmospheric game. Not many music. There's a couple music in there. Samus, but this is the part. This is what you see right there. That's the spider ball. That helped, and also you can see compare that to what you see here. This defines Samus. This defines Samus more in how she looked with the various suits and running off the shoulders and showing how big her suit is. I just like it. Again, you have to do your discovery, like you say, like right there. Sometimes you have to go up to find things. You have to go down. You can shoot down. Sometimes you don't get nothing. Sometimes you're not. But that's the whole point of discovering, and that's what I like about the game. You are adventure. You are adventure. Now, and again, that morph ball came in way handy. And I forgot it to people. The morph ball, for those who are new, like I said, was because back in this time right here, they couldn't do crawl animation. Same thing with what's his name, with Mega Man. So they gave Mega Man this weird slide because it's hard to draw a crawl animation. So in Metroid, of course, back in the day, they couldn't do it, so what they did was create a morph ball. They created that right there, which which adds so many dimensions to that game that you could drop a bomb and go this way, go on like it created so much stuff. So of course, as you saw in this one, it did the spider ball where you could just walk up walls. And of course, that one thing about Metroid is I love how all the weapons get this evolution. So now comes Super Metroid, the game that I played multiple times, and for the longest time, of course, was my favorite Metroid game because it's just the music, great sound effects, as you will be hearing, great. the way that they tell the story through the gameplay. So awesome. Oh my goodness, I can't help it. It's just so good. And the way that Sakamoto and his team, Gunpei Yokoi and his team, use the ambiance, the color palette, everything. Oh my goodness, love this game. This is the apex of 2D. Now, what I mean by apex, I mean like you saw so much of a jump, and you see what you can do. You could do with this in this game. Now, going back to what I was saying, this right here again, if you're arcade head, you can get this game on the DS and everything. But I would say with what just happened, and I predicted it, of course. This game right here again, you can skip it. You could skip this. This could be skipped, so you're not gonna worry about that. Kind of changes a little bit with the story, but you can skip it, so you don't feel again too arcade. Again, if you want to go back in there, remember, like right down here, it tells you how much Metroids are there. You've seen how much missiles you got, life, everything. Like it's basic and simple, but yeah. Now, like I said, with Super Metroid now, yeah, that again, like I said, with the palette change and everything, they took it to another level. And that, of course, is Ridley, and you're going to learn more about him and everything like that. Super Metroid. Like I said, apex of the 2D setup and everything. No. And like I would tell you, this game, like I said, the sound effects, oh, I just love it. Super Metroid, you gotta play. That's a must play. I'll tell you that one. That's a must play. You have to play Super Metroid. I am surprised because I thought they were going to do a Metroid, and they might do it. If I were Nintendo, would do it. A remake just like they did it, like the remakes that I'll tell you. But Super Metroid, original Super Metroid, you could play and have fun. Now that's basically third in the no. It's not third in the chronology of the story, but it's something you have to play. I'll tell you I'll tell you the order you have to play at the end of the video. What you have to play. Now you're into Fusion. Now Fusion, as everybody knows, this is now Fusion is what Dread is gonna be based off. This is Metroid 4 right here. You saw 1, 2, 3. This is 4. Fusion, yes, you gotta play. So get in the eShop, find a cartridge, or that's basically that's all it is, I think. Yes, Nintendo, I think you should release these games on the Switch eShop, or the Switch is part of the Nintendo online, so people could get a glimpse of these and play these. Just saying. Fusion. Again, you have to play. This is the game before Dread. This is where you learn why her suits or whatever. You found out about a lot more of the Federation, which is the Federation is basically the police force of the space that they are around in. You learn about also the Federation from the two standpoints, from the military end and from the scientific end. In this game, you learn about Adam Malkovich. Nobody never know who Adam Malkovich is, which goes to another story, another game that people just get tick me off on. But Metroid Fusion, yes. Now, is it more defined like Metroid, Super Metroid? You could see everything more detailed. They went for a different change, so it looks more that. But the pace in Metroid Fusion, what Samus could do, the stuff that Samus could do, the pace is crazy in this game, and I like it. And also, they have some bosses in here that will kick your butt. Just letting you know. And also having that, you have Dread, which those robots are, and of course Fusion, you have a doppelganger that has your powers and basically kill you. So this game right here is a must play. Again, I'll tell you the order how to play this game. And you see those yellow things that you see right there? Those are the Parasite X, where I was talking about what that in Metroid 2, why they were creating the Metroid basically in the first place at that point, in where the choices were at that point in that regard. But now, this of course is Metroid Prime. This is the game that made me stay a gamer. Because again, in the hype video I've said on my channel, you go to my channel, you see WTF 10. That's why I don't get hyped for games, because of this game right here. When you see the screenshots of the game in its alpha stage, you're like, oh my god! And they're turning it from those 2D games into this game. It's like, what are they doing? No. But I'm thankful that I was open enough in my mind, open-minded in my mind, to I played Fusion first though. I got the Fusion and Prime like 2 weeks before they're supposed to be released. Played Fusion first, then played Prime. Fusion was fun, I enjoyed it, but Prime I was dreading. I was like, oh my goodness. And then it literally blew my face off with what they did. Again, Retro, Shigeru Miyamoto, and them, you guys did a phenomenal job on this. Of course, this is a game you should play as well too. Again, I'll name the order. Basically easy. Prime 1, Prime 2, Prime 3. That's basically, you get that. There's the evolution of that, like I said, of the Morph Ball. But, yes. Metroid Prime 2, 3, in that order, you get that game. Oh yeah, I forgot, it was Zero Mission. Now, again, until I get to the end, but I can tell you right now, Metroid Zero Mission is the remake of the first Metroid. This is a game you should play, and this should be chronologically. This should be the first game you play to understand the story, how it goes. Zero Mission is an evolution. It took most of the stuff from Fusion, and it added it to, and it adapted it to. You can see the same move, the same speed and move play of Fusion. That's what it did. It adapted it to Metroid Zero Mission. Metroid Zero Mission. Again, Metroid Zero Mission. Metroid Zero Mission is the first game retold, and the ending has retold after you fight the boss, what you think, and they added more to it. So shoutouts to the Metroid Nintendo for putting that all together. But this is the first game you should play to get an understanding of the story. Of course, like I said, Echoes, no offense about it. Echoes is the Echoes 2, which is Prime 2. Now, I like, out of all the Primes, Prime 2 is my favorite Prime. I know a lot of people don't like the Skyward keys to go looking for them, but me, I was looking at them actively. But this, the reason I like this game, the reason I like that game is because, oh my goodness, I just like, the game was just, to me, I like having a constant movement. It was like you can't, it kept you on your feet. That's why I love it. And I love the bosses. It was difficult. The original Prime 2 is difficult. They dim it down in the collection, of course. But the Prime 2, the difficulty, it kept you on your feet. You have to be thinking, understanding. You got to do multiple things at the same time while moving around, because you were losing health constantly in the first two-thirds of the game. Oh my goodness. Just love it. Prime 2 is my best Prime game. As you can see right here, now this game right here is for fun. You don't have to, you ain't got nothing to do with the story, but it's a fun little game which I enjoy playing. Metroid Prime Ball, Pinball. I like it. I just like it. I just love it. Of course, when you get the part, when you get you can use the gunship, and then this part right here, you can do the bombs, or you get launched into this part right here, where Samus turns back into a vertical, into a usual self, and start blasting away. Okay. Hunters. Not my favorite Metroid. Not because of the gameplay. Don't get it wrong. If it was good, to me, it's just story. It's one of those stories that had great potential, and it wasn't fleshed out well. In my opinion, I just didn't like that. And the worlds were a little blandish too. Just saying that. Do you have to play Prime Hunters? Not really. Not really, but I put it in the collected order. Prime 3, another good game. Another awesome game. And I just like how they put this together. You get a chance to use your gunship. This was one of my favorite games on the Wii. You just can't help it. This is good. A good game. Of course, like I said, it's 3, so you'll have to pick it up. So this is a game you have to play. Now, of course, Metroid Other M. The one that people say, oh no, why? Other M is why it's so bad, blah blah blah. Does Other M has its faults in the story, just like how I just said about Hunters? Yes, not as egregious as Hunters though. Let's get that straight. Not as egregious as Hunters. Metroid Other M came after Fusion, of course, in 2010, as you saw. But it answered a lot of questions that I was like, that makes sense, and that makes sense, and that makes sense, and this makes sense. Like, it answered the questions in a story-wise way with Fusion. So its chronology is a part of the story, and yes, you should play it. Again, yes, the dumb part of it, of the fire suit, and then you have the various suit not having your fire to protect yourself, that's stupid, that we have to unlock it. But also introduce Adam Malkovich, why he was a key part in Samus's life, and why, again, Adam Malkovich is in Metroid Dread, so there you go. This is part of the story. This is part of the canonical story of Other M. Really good game, not broken. One of the two flaws I would say again, the story of unlocking the powers. Not the story itself, but the story on unlocking the powers. Not good. And also, coming from a free roaming when you go into first person mode, and then the controls does work. I have no problem with it. But to flip it into, and it was a smooth transition. Very smooth. Sorry. Very smooth transition from the side remote to that. Like it was flawless. They did a great job on that. But you get a point, you're static. So I get what people didn't like it in that regard. And I like the cat and mouse, and you already could see the dodging. That came from other, like I said, all the dodging stuff like that right there. Where you have to do that. You're basically locking in a free mode, so I get that as a gameplay. I understand that. But the dodging, that was introduced in Other M. Again, there's stuff in Other M, and they did redesign. They did redesign her suits for Other M, which again it got updated into more and more in that regard. I'm telling you, man, it's just people need to understand that Other M is a part of the story. You have to check it out. Prime Federation Force. It's a side mission per se. It really doesn't do too much with Samus as a story, but it tells you about some of the Federation forces, of course, and that's the name of the game. It tells you a lot about the Federation, and of course you have that. Metroid South Returns. This is a must play as well. So this will be the second game chronologically to be played if you want the story from beginning to end. this is the game right here that you should be getting. So, with that said, to play the game, to play all the games, which I didn't know I had this still going. So to end this story right here, on this, let me see if I have a good, not really per se. So, here we go. If you want to get a story, guys, and you want to play it and get Metroid in its full Metroidian goodness, and you want to get the story and get to understand and kind of appreciate the evolution of how this series evolved over the long. Because again, Metroid Prime 1 itself evolved. Not only if you like first person shooters, Metroid Prime 1 did a lot of that to evolve. Because they couldn't even figure out how to do jumps right, and Prime did it with a simple trick, just like with a lock on for Zelda. The R trigger seat, like all this stuff. The Nintendo knows how to do this stuff just so I like it. But here's a chronological order, and as you can see, I got special editions of certain things, of certain games. That's how deep of a fan I am with the Metroid stuff. So, first game you should play. Metroid Zero Mission. No ifs, ands, or buts. Great game. I think you like it, and you understand how it goes. Next game to play is Return of Samus, the 2017 3DS remake. That's a better version of, again, from a retro heads. Again, the first is the Metroid and Metroid Prime. Metroid and Metroid 2. They are for the retro heads, but if you're not that and you just want to just get into what the story's all about, yeah. So, Zero Mission, then Return of Samus, the 3DS remake, then Super Metroid, then after, in every, sorry, I made a mistake. I forgot how that chronological really went. That's my fault. So, it basically goes Metroid, so Zero Mission, then Prime 1, 2, 3, then Hunters, then 2, Return of Samus, but again play the other reword, then play Super Metroid, then after Super Metroid, then goes Other M, after Other M, will be Metroid Fusion, and after Metroid Fusion would be, of course, Metroid Dread. And if you go and look through Metroid, which like I said I have here, you go through Metroid Prime, you will see they're talking about, they will give you clues of Metroid Dread in the scanning clues. If you scan everything, like I said, the only game I have not 100% is this game. All these games I have 100% it. 100% all these games. But again, just to reiterate, Zero Mission, Prime 1, 2, 3, Hunters, Return of Samus, Super Metroid, Other M, Metroid Fusion, then Metroid Dread. If you want to do that. If you want to make it easy on you, if you go find it, you could do, again, if you want to get the trilogy, that'll be easy for everything. You don't have to buy individual like me. Because like I said, you see the stack up right here. Like I have Metroid. There's 2 stacks here. So I have the original Metroid. Then I have the original Echoes as well too. But then I have the special edition here, as you can see. And I had a one where you would get Metroid Prime 1 and 2 on the same disc. So it was just pretty awesome back then. Then you have the trilogy, which have all those games, and if it has the controls from Metroid Prime Corruptions, which is pretty good and accurate. So again, about I would say it's about 95% accuracy in what you're shooting and doing. But hey, again, Metroid, and then you can say Other M. You have to play because it makes sense between Metroid, and Fusion. There's too much questions that this game answers off, and it also gives you more of a backstory as well too of Samus. So you see her in her early days, how she was or whatever. So again, Metroid Prime Dread, guys. Hope you guys go out there and enjoy it. I hope these fake Metroid fans, the ones that I'm not talking, those, you guys put your money where your mouth is. Make this game a great seller. Again, I want to see 6 million easy. Easy. You better put 6 million on this thing. Just like how other games are, sell it easy, 6 million. Make this thing what it is. And I'm going to still keep on treasure hunting for my daggone amiibos, which is, I'm going to get them. But, again, it's a great series, great story, great gameplay. I just love the gameplay. Metroid is where it's at. Can't wait for October to dig deep into that game and have fun. Alright? So with that said, guys, if you're a Metroid person here and you're a fan, like I said, I have a playlist of Metroid on my channel. Some of these are rants. Yes, I'm sorry, because the Metroid fan base is very, very fickle. And it's not as super as people think it is. But you go to our channel, you'll see there's a playlist right here of Metroid rants, talking. You get see, I talk about the fake fans right here. And also, there is a if you love music, I have a jukebox, of course, but there is a music playlist of Metroid games music. Check it out. I think you will like it. And as a double again, you go to WTF. You go to WTF. I'll see if I show you here. You go to WTF number, because how they did this, 10. Be careful of the hype. That will show you. That will give you. I could show you a little glimpse of it. A glimpse of it. It showed you how crude. Like I said, this is how crude it was. And I have the magazines to back it up. As you saw, I have the articles. That's how crude they had it in Metroid Prime. And I was like, oh my goodness. But if you want to hear the full story, you could go right there. So again, if you're new to the channel, check it out. Check out the Metroid playlist. WTF 10, episode 10. You'll see about that. And again, if you like the music and stuff, the music is there. This right here, the Sound Archives. Yes. Great music from all the Metroid games. Go ahead and pick and listen to it, because again, I know you guys love the soundtracks of games. So other than that, again, thank you. This has been a long video, but I wanted to do this just to get it off my chest and talk about stuff. So thank you for Metroid fan to for those true Metroid fans. I'm hoping you guys get the game and enjoy it, and let's see that hopefully this will be the best-selling game in Metroid history. With that said, there's no perfect games out there. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy your games on all consoles, including PC. Peace out.